Where the heck is everybody? Hello! Nobody's here. Whoa!
Hello.
Where is everybody?
Well, there's been so many college closures around Vermont. I'm the only one left.
You're the only one left?
In recent years, many Vermont colleges have experienced a variety of pressures that have led to consolidation, school closing, or the pressure of potential school closing. Johnson State College and Linden State College were merged into one unified institution. Green Mountain College, Southern Vermont College, and St. Joseph College all have closed due to financial pressures, accreditation issues, and low enrollment. Goddard College and Vermont Law School face continued challenges, their future operation at risk.
Ted!
Charlie,
Hey, how you doing?
good to see you.
Good to see you.
Oh.
Thanks for coming down. This is my friend Eva Clark.
Hi.
Hey, Eva, Ted Brady.
Great to meet you.
Nice to
Ted
meet
Brady's
you.
with the Community Development. He's Deputy Secretary of Commerce for the state of Vermont. And
Excellent.
Eva graduated from St. Joe's College, and she's also looking for a job. Maybe we can help her out today. I'm Charlie Papillo, Travels with Charlie, Vermont politics in real life. Stay tuned. We're going to have a great conversation, and maybe we'll get Eva a job. Why don't you have a seat there? Travels with Charlie, Vermont politics in real life. We're at the campus of Green Mountain College here in Poultney, and they were under about 200 students this past year, and that's just not enough to cover the cost. And a lot of that has to do with changing demographics, not only in Vermont, but I think most of New England. We had 3 colleges close this year.
Right, yeah, I think really all of rural America, but certainly New England's aging. And as that happens, our workforce is constricting, we're having fewer children. I think you put it in perspective here in Vermont too, and we need people like Eva desperately in the state of Vermont. The colleges have historically been one of the greatest assets we have for combating that demographic challenge we face. There's not much you can do about getting older.
Yeah.
There's only one option, it's not a good one. So the really for years, for decades, Vermont's counted on tens of thousands of people between the ages of 18 and 25 moving to Vermont to get a college education. And a large percentage of them, when they are done with college in Vermont, go on to work in Vermont. Higher education in Vermont has a bright future. We're going through a real hard struggle right now for market trends, market reasons. I don't think it's time to say to throw in the towel.
Eva, he's preaching to the choir. You're a Vermonter.
Yes.
You graduated from Castleton and from St. Joe's. Being a Vermonter, you'd love to stay here. I know you and I have talked, and you've got some resumes out there outside the state.
I would stay. I'm just worried about whatever income I have not being able to sustain the cost of living here. So that's my main pull for leaving, as well as just seeking a little more cultural diversity, just because I have been in Vermont for so long. But I do love it here, so maybe I would be the type to maybe leave, try something, get different experiences, and then definitely be open to coming back. But like you were mentioning, I've applied to places in New York City as well as here in Vermont. So really it's gonna maybe come down to who hires me first. And
So Eva, you've lived here all your life. If you had to pick up and move and head to, let's say you get a job in New York City, come on, Ted, you can still work on her, so keep her here. If you had to move to New York City, what would you miss the most about living here in Vermont?
I would miss the outdoorsy life, like the greenery, the scenery, the mountains, the space. That's what I would miss.
Don't
Also
forget
my family.
Yeah.
Definitely would miss my family.
Interesting fact about kind of demographics, every year about 20,000 people move into Vermont. And then you look at how many people are leaving Vermont, and that's part of our problem. we're losing more than 20,000, but not by much. You know, less than 21,000 people move out of Vermont each year. So you look at somebody like Eva, and Eva, like you said, we want to keep you here. There are thousands of jobs open in Vermont right now. We're in the tightest labor market we've ever had. I am confident that we could find you the perfect job. It's all about what you'd want to do.
Right.
And most importantly, if you went to New York, we all know you'll come back.
She may come.
That's true.
Eva, kind of interesting, we were talking earlier and I found out that, fortunately you're not burdened with a lot of student loans, but Ted, as you know, that's one of the issues again that students consider is the high cost of education, student loans, and then they have to consider the degree that I have and the amount of money that I owe after that 4 or 6 years. Am I going to be able to get a job where I can pay that back in a timely manner? Are we going to have to sort of change our whole mindset about degrees and the next 20 years, the next 30 years? What are the jobs going to be? What's going to be important?
Small question.
Yeah.
You think I have an answer for that?
I don't know.
But I think the obvious issue is it's unsustainable to continue to burden students with $100,000 of college debt.
Yeah.
But I still think when you look at college, it's still the best value. The studies continue to show that a college degree gives you the highest wage possible. That said, our workforce does not need to be made up of everyone with college degrees.
Right.
The idea of a 4-year degree as the purpose of college is likely going to change.
Yeah.
When you look at the thousands of kids in Vermont that don't go on to get a college degree or any advanced training.
Right, and that's the key. Yeah.
So there's a market there that can only help the state be more successful, help these people be more successful, and help these colleges be more successful.
Exactly. You ever think about going back to school?
I've done 6 years of school.
That's enough.
I can take a
You
break.
want to be a doctor?
I'm not going for a doctorate. No, not right now.
But I don't think those 6 years. I think that was the best use of anybody's time.
It was a good
honestly,
use of time.
there's no better thing for yourself and for the country than for somebody to go and get not just a college degree, but an advanced degree in a specialty that they love. And that's going to serve you well and serve the economy well. My only point is, let's try to find a way to capture people that aren't taking advantage of any of that.
Right, and it was Vermont that offered me that. Right here in Vermont, I got my 2 degrees.
Because Vermont's the best place in the country to go to college.
So that's not beyond me. I
This portion of the program paid for by
Vermont tourism.
Here we are at Green Mountain College, Poultney. The impact on this community with 400 students that aren't here during the school year, buying at the local stores, going to the restaurants. That's a huge impact on the community. We have 2 other colleges that recently closed. St. Joe's, your school, Eva. What's Vermont doing to help out when they close the communities?
A really important thing for all of us to realize is we call them institutions of higher education. When you think about an institution, you call it an institution because you think it'll always be there. And a town like Poultney has depended on this being here. And as they transition, we're working as the state with them to make sure that there is momentum for what's next at this campus. Trying to create an authorizing environment that says to external investors, this community wants somebody to come in and do something here. And that means positioning this community for success. It means making sure their downtown looks nice. It's making sure that the 3,000 plus people that live here are really engaged and are creating this vibrant community. That's definitely part of it. And we see that in College of St. Joe's. We're trying to help them with that, as well as the Southern Vermont College.
Castleton University, they have teaching agreements and plans to inherit a lot of those students that are out of the school now. So and also Castleton's been building up their programming and their athletics. So, while some colleges are experiencing the worst, some of our other colleges may benefit from that.
Well, no, I think there's one school of thought that believes that there's an oversupply of seats right now. I personally think, I want our colleges and universities to think of this more competitively, that we should be growing the number of seats in Vermont.
You have people that come here from major metropolitan areas, and they like what they see here, and it's different. I don't know how long we retain them, but I think they stay here, much like I did. I went to a different area. It was new to me, and you stay there for about 15 years. And, we want to keep them longer than 15 years, though, right, Ted?
We do, and we've seen some data that suggests that sometime in that mid-20s phase, a transplant who came to Vermont, that's kind of your most vulnerable time to leave.
Yeah.
You might get your first job in Vermont, you might experience Vermont living, and then who knows what happens. You have kids and you want to be closer to your parents. There's so many reasons that could happen.
What would get me to stay? A job where I'm learning new skills in marketing and able to apply different avenues of my communication skills and add to what I have. Always looking to learn more. In my experiences in Vermont, I've gotten to meet Governor Phil Scott. I've gotten to meet people, more easily here because of our way easier here because of our low populations and tight-knit communities, and you just are able to make connections and easier. That's a huge opportunity.
I think it's a place where you have access to a lot of different resources that you don't in a bigger city, because you play such an outsized role in your community.
Comparatively,
you are kind of a big deal
Yes.
in a small place, and a lot of people thrive in that environment. I hope you would too. But most importantly, I never want to try to convince anybody to do something they didn't want to do, and I do trust that no matter where you go, you find yourself back in Vermont. If it's in your blood, it's in your blood.
It is definitely, it's something you're proud of, for sure, being a Vermonter.
Well, it's all about.
Special thanks to my guest today on Travels with Charlie, Ted Brady, the Deputy Secretary of Commerce, State of Vermont. Ted, thank you for being here today. And Eva Clark, a recent graduate of St. Joseph's College and a employee of St. Joseph's College, and she's now out of a job, and maybe at some point, Ted's going to be able to help you out here. We certainly hope that.
We'll do all we can.
Thank you.
Thanks again for being with us, and see you in my travels.
Share what's on your mind. It's time well spent talking president. Though we may not agree, let your thoughts run free. You can have your turn.